Hello students, welcome back to my YouTube channel Mathematical Lens by Namita. I'm going to introduce a new series, a new playlist for class 7 mathematics from the old NCRT textbook. And in this, I'm going to revise the chapter. I'll give you the chapter in a gist, all important points which are to be covered, and few examples of each type I will explain. This will help you to revise before exams. Okay, so in today's video, I'm going to cover up chapter number 1, that is integers, right? So before we know what are integers, we'll recap what we have already learned is the natural numbers, right? Can you see the diagram, the Venn diagram? Here, natural numbers. Natural numbers are the counting numbers. So 1, 2, 3, 4 till infinity. Then comes the next uh, the number series, that is whole numbers. So whole numbers, they include zero. They start from zero. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 again till infinity. Right? You can see that all natural numbers are included in the whole numbers. That's why this type of diagram is used to explain. Now, the third series which we are going to learn today are integers. Now, these integers will include the positive natural numbers, negative natural numbers, that is -1, -2, -3, and so on till infinity, including 0. So integers will have negative integers, positive integers, and 0. So you can see that this is a bigger circle. In that, whole numbers and natural numbers are included. So what does it mean that integers, whole numbers and natural numbers are also included? So you can understand that all natural numbers are integers, all whole numbers are also integers. But it is not true the other way round. Okay. So let us understand some properties of integers. Right? Earlier we have understood some properties of whole numbers. So the same properties we will see whether it is followed in integers or not. Right? So if we see the closure property. So what you need to remember here, we have two good boys, two good children, that is addition and multiplication. This is an easier way to understand and remember that addition and multiplication, the good students, they are following all the properties, the closure property, commutative property, and associative property, right? Now, subtraction is a little naughty, so it follows only closure property, it does not follow commutative and associative. And the naughtiest child in the class is division, which does not follow any properties. Right? This is just a way to remember all the properties. Now I'll just recap what are these properties. So what is closure property? Closure property is when you add any two integers, right? So the answer which you get is also an integer, right? Even if you subtract any two integers, you will get the answer as integer. And also in the case of multiplication, when you multiply two integers, the answer, the product which you get is also an integer. But that's not the case in division. If you divide two integers, you may or you may not get an integer, right? What was commutative property? Commutative property is for two integers, and associative property is similar, but it is for three or more integers, right? Now, what is important in this commutative and associative property? Like if we see for addition, if you add the numbers in any order, the answer remains the same, right? So similarly, you multiply the numbers in any order, the answer remains the same. But that's not the case with subtraction and division, right? So this is just a recap of all the properties. Now let us see some more properties. So what is the additive identity? Additive identity is 0. That means you add 0 to any number or any integer, the answer will be the same number. Then additive inverse. What is additive inverse? The same number with a different sign. So if it is +3, the additive inverse will be -3. If it is suppose -7, the additive inverse will be +7, right? Then multiplicative identity. Multiplicative identity is 1. That means you multiply any number by 1, any integer by 1, you get the same number. Then multiplicative inverse, very important. It is also known as reciprocal. So, like for 7, the reciprocal is 1 upon 7. Suppose it is 4 upon 3. So, its reciprocal will be 3 upon 4. This is again very important. Then multiplication by 0, the answer will be 0. Any integer you multiply by 0, you will get 0. Then division by 1, you divide any integer by 1, you get the same integer. Like -4 divided by 1 will give you -4. Division by 0. Division by 0 is not defined, whether it is natural number, whole number, or integers, right? So 0 can never be a divisor. Remember, these are very important properties, so you can just go through this before your exams. Now let us see some examples of multiplication and division of integers. Now, suppose both the numbers have same sign. So your answer will be positive. Like for example, -7 into -3. So what will you do? You multiply the numbers. 7 3s are 21. And two same sign, minus minus, it becomes plus, right? Suppose both are positive, then 5 into 6 will be 30. So answer will be positive. So in both the cases, if both are negative, then also the answer is positive. Both are positive, then also the answer is positive. Okay. Then if it is division, then again, same thing. Both are negative. So 8 divided by 2 is 4. Both are negative. So negative, negative gets cancelled. The answer is positive 4. Suppose both are positive, then naturally the answer will be positive. 20 divided by 4 is 5. Right? So what you need to remember is this line only. Same sign means answer will be positive. Answer will be positive. You remember that. Don't mix up with addition and subtraction. There we take the sign of the greater number. But in multiplication, we don't do that. If same sign means the answer is positive. Now let us see different sign. So if both the numbers have different sign, like one is positive, one is negative, then the answer is negative. Again, I am repeating that we don't see which number is greater or smaller. If one of them has negative sign, means the answer will be negative. Like -3 into 2 will give you -6. 3 2s are 6 and write the minus sign. Suppose the sign is in the other number, like 3 into -2, then also the answer will be -6. So whether 3 is negative or 2 is negative, 3 2s are 6, answer will be same. So same is the case with division. So -8 divided by 2. So here one of them is negative, one is positive. So you just divide 8 by 2, you get 4 and put the sign of minus. Similarly, suppose the negative sign is here in -2. You are dividing by a negative number. So 8 divided by -2. So first ignore that minus sign, divide 8 by 2. So you get 4 and just place the negative sign. So the lines, these two lines are very important. You need to remember for multiplication and division of integers. Same sign means the answer will be positive. Different sign means the answer will be negative. Please don't mix with addition and subtraction of integers. Okay. So let us see some examples based on the properties of integers, right? I have taken few example of each type from your textbook, right? So let us try to see the strategy to solve these questions, right? Like the type of question, this type of questions are asked, like write down a pair of integers whose sum is -7. Now sum is minus, what you need to do is first to place two brackets. Two numbers, we need to find out a pair of integers whose sum means we put a plus sign is -7. The answer is given. So we need to place two numbers. So what we will do here, first think of two numbers which gives you sum as 7, positive 7. So 4 and 3, okay. But you want a negative 7, so you will take both negative. So minus 4 minus 3 will give you minus 7. Like you can take 5 and 2. You can take 6 and 1. So there are many possibilities. You can write any one of them. And also check once. Okay, whether you are getting the same answer. Similarly, the other type of question is difference is 5. Now you want the difference as 5. So again, what I told you, put two brackets, you want two integers whose difference, so put a minus sign, is 5. Now again, think of two numbers whose difference is 5. Don't think about negative 5 first. So like 10 minus 5 is 5. Okay. But you want a negative 5, so your larger number, the bigger number should be negative. Right? So minus 10. Here also you will take minus 1, minus 5. Why? Because ultimately this minus minus becomes plus. Okay, we'll write the additive inverse of this, it becomes plus. So minus 10 plus 5 will give you minus 5. Right? So here also again there are many possibilities, many combinations are possible to get the same answer. Right? I have taken the blanks from the textbook which are based on the properties. So the answers are simpler, but you should also know the properties which we are applying in those questions. Like minus 5 minus 8 is equal to minus 8 minus 5. What have we done over here? We have just changed the order. So we have applied the commutative property over here. Okay. So we have changed the order. The answer remains the same. Then minus 53 plus dash gives you minus. You're getting the same answer, minus 53. Right? So what are you adding over here is 0. What is 0? 0 is the additive identity. Okay. Then 17 plus dash gives you 0. Now when you add two additive inverse, what is additive inverse of 17? It is minus 17. 17 minus 17 will be 0. Right? So when you add two additive inverse, the answer will always be 0. Also remember the statements which I am speaking, because sometimes when the examples are given, you are able to do. But when the same thing is asked in the form of a sentence, you get stuck in that and you make mistakes. So remember the statements which I am using, like the sum of two additive inverse, the number and its additive inverse will always be 0. Okay. Now let us see the fourth question. So 13 plus minus 12 plus dash gives you 13 plus minus 15 plus minus 12. Right? So you can see which number is missing over here, minus 15. Here we are applying the associative property. Like in the left hand side, they have added first 13 and minus 12, then added minus 15. In this case, 13 is left first, minus 15 and minus 12 are added, and then 13 is added. So you'll get the same answer. So whatever number is missing, that you will write in the blank. And we are using the associative property. Now we'll see some examples of multiplication of integers. Right? So just remember what I told you. Same sign means positive and different signs means negative. Now here there are same sign, but it is 3 times, right? First, what we will do, we will multiply these numbers. Then we'll look at the sign later on. So 2 3s are 6, 1 will remain as it is, 2 3s are 6, 6 4s are 24. Now, what you need to remember, that if the negative sign is odd number of times means 1, 2, 3. 3 is odd. It is 3 times. Negative sign is 3 times. So the answer will be negative. Right? Because I explained you, same sign means positive. So this becomes positive. Then only one negative sign will be left. So it becomes negative. Now here, see the second example. Here, the negative sign is 4 times. 4 is even, right? It is 4 times. So, first we multiply the numbers. 3 6 are 18, 18 2s are 36. Now, you can see if it is even number of times, if the negative sign is even number of times, the answer will be positive. So, the answer is plus 36. Okay. Now, let us see another type of question, that is verify the following. Verify means you are trying to check whether the left hand side LHS is equal to RHS, right? The right hand side, right? So first let us solve the left hand side, that is LHS, right? So if I try to solve this LHS, I write the question again, the left hand side again. So here there is a square bracket. First we solve that. So we get 18 into, this is 7 minus 3. That is 18 into 4. So 18 4 is 72. You're getting as 72. Now let us try to solve RHS. First we copy RHS once again. That is, RHS is 18 into 7, then 18 into minus 3. So we solve both the brackets one by one. So 18 sevens are 126. We get 126. And here we multiply 18 by 3. So 18 threes are 54. Here there is minus sign. Different sign means subtraction. So we write minus 54. Now this becomes plus into minus is minus. So 126 minus 54. Again, this gives you 72. So you can see that both the values LHS and RHS, they are same. So you can write therefore LHS is equal to RHS, that is verified. So we have verified that both are equal, right? So here we are applying distributive property, distribution of multiplication over addition. So like 18 is multiplied with 7, then 18 is multiplied with 3 in the RHS. So I always explain it in this way. Suppose there are two guests in your house, right? The distributive property, how to understand and remember. There are two guests in your house and you are the host. This 18 is the host and these are the two guests. So if you are giving water to drink, will you not give it to both the guests, right? So that's why 18 is multiplied by 7 and then 18 is also multiplied by minus 3. Because what happens many a times, the children, they do this mistake, they multiply it with one of the number and they forget to multiply with the other number. So I tell them to remember that these are the guests in your house, you need to give water to both of them, right? That's an easy way to remember the distributive property. Now let us see some examples of division of integers. I have taken the ones which are difficult from your textbook. Okay, so first again here you see there is a square bracket. So first we solve the bracket. So this minus 31 remains as it is, divide by. Now this is minus 30 and minus 1. We are adding. Now in addition, you remember that same sign means we add. So 30 and 1 will be 31, right? And we put the sign of the greater number. So greater number is 30 over here. So we get minus 31. Okay. Now both are same numbers. So if you divide same numbers, the answer will be 1. Okay. Now let us see another example. Here we are dividing minus 36 by 12 first. So 36 divided by 12 is 3. We put the minus sign. As I told you, different sign means negative number. Divide by 3. So first we solve this bracket and then we divide by 3. Now 3 divided by 3 is 1. But there is one negative number, so the answer will be minus 1. One more question we'll see. Here there are two brackets. So first we solve both the brackets. So minus 6 plus 5. So different sign means subtraction. So 6 minus 5 is 1. And the sign of greater is minus 1. Okay, this is for addition and subtraction. Remember, the rules are little different. Then divide by. Here also, different sign means subtraction. And we put this. So 2 minus 1 is 1. And we put the sign of greater, so minus 1, right? Now, minus 1 divided by minus 1 means you are dividing the same number. Both are negative, so the answer will be positive. And 1 divided by 1 is 1. I hope you have understood division of integers. Now let us solve one or two word problems which are given in the textbook. So this type of sums are important. I am taking two different types of sums. So first one is the temperature at 12 noon was 10 degree centigrade above 0. Above 0 means plus 10. So at 12 noon, what was the temperature? I'll write here 12 noon, the temperature is 10 degree, positive 10, so I'm not putting the sign. If it decreases at the rate of 2 degree per hour means at every hour it is reducing to 2 degrees, right? It is decreasing until midnight. So this on goes on until midnight. So at what time would the temperature be 8 degree below zero? 8 degree below zero means minus 8 degree. That is one question. And they have asked one more question. What would be the temperature at midnight? Right? So this type of sums can be solved like you go on decreasing like 12 noon. So 1 hour per hour it is decreasing 2. So at 1 p.m. what will be the temperature? It is decreasing by 2. So it will be 8 degree. Then 2 p.m. again it will decrease by 2. So it is 6 degree. 3 p.m. it will be 4 degree. So we'll find out till midnight because they have asked till midnight. So 4 p.m. again it is decreasing by 2, so 2 degrees centigrade. 5 p.m. it is 0 degrees centigrade, right? Now after 0, if it is decreasing by 2, it will be negative, right? So minus 2 degrees centigrade. Then 7 p.m. it will be minus 4 degrees centigrade because you are going 2 degree below 0. 8 p.m. it is minus 6 degrees centigrade. 9 p.m. minus 8 degrees centigrade. 10 p.m. minus 10 degrees centigrade. 11 p.m. minus 12 degrees centigrade. And 12 p.m., that is 12 midnight, it is minus 14 degree centigrade. So there are two questions in this. At what time the temperature would be 8 degree below 0? So where is 8 degree below 0? It is at 9 p.m. So this is our first answer. There are two questions. So at 9 p.m. it would be 8 degree below 0. 8 degree below 0 means minus 8. And what would be the temperature at midnight? So midnight, the temperature is minus 14. So these are the two answers. You can frame a sentence and write the answer. So there is another type of question in your textbook, another word problem. In a class test, plus 3 marks, that is positive 3 marks are given for every correct answer and minus 2 marks are given for every incorrect answer, right? And no marks for not attempting any question, right? So you'll get 0 for that. So first we write down the facts. So marks for correct answer, how much will you get? It is plus 3. And marks for incorrect answer, these are the two facts given. First we write down the facts. Never read the whole word problem together. First break it into parts, right? So first we have written the facts. Now here there are two questions. So first we try to solve the first question. It is about Radhika. So Radhika, what is given? Radhika scored 20 marks. So what is total score of Radhika is 20 marks. Again we write down the facts about Radhika. And if she has got 12 correct answers, how many questions has she attempted incorrectly? So 12 correct answers. So correct answers are 12. Right. Now, let us see what is the marks given for correct answers. That is plus 3. So 12 correct answers means her score for correct answer is equal to 12 into 3. So that is 36. So she should get 36 marks because she gave 12 correct answers. But there is negative marking. That means the remaining answers are wrong. So how many such answers are there? To find out that, what we will do, so score of incorrect answers. How will we get? We'll get from the total. What total she scored is 20. From that we will subtract 36, right? Always subtract from total. Here again, the children do a lot of mistake. So first you'll write 20, then 36. Don't write 36 minus 20 because this is the total score. So here both are say different signs. So we subtract and sign of greater. So the answer will be minus 16. Means minus 16 she scored from incorrect answers. Right. Now, how many marks do we get from for incorrect answer is minus 2. So how many number of incorrect answers will be? She's getting 16 and 2 for each. So we divide minus 16 by minus 2 and you get 8. So she attempted 8 incorrect answers. Okay, this is the way we'll do the first part. Now let us see the second part. In second part, what is given? Mohini scores minus 5 marks in this test, though she got 7 correct answers. How many questions has she attempted incorrectly? Now, this is similar type like Radhika, but here Radhika scored plus 20 marks, positive 20, and Mohini's score is minus 5, negative. She's getting a negative mark. And how many correct answers she gave? This is the total score of Mohini. Right? So let us see. Correct answers are 7. And we get how many marks for correct answer? It is 3. So score for correct answer, seven multiplied by 3. So 7 threes are 21. She should get 21 marks. But she has done wrong answers also. So let us see what we'll do again to get the score of incorrect answers. We subtract the total. What is the total score? Was minus 5. Minus 5 minus 21. Right? So minus 5 minus 21 gives you minus 26. Right? Minus 26. So the score for incorrect answer is minus 5, the total from the score of correct answer. Subtract that. So minus 5 minus 21 will be minus 6. This is the score from the incorrect answer. Now we need to find out the number of incorrect answer. So what do we do? The marks for incorrect answer is minus 2. So we divide minus 26 by minus 2. Negative will be cancelled. And 26 divided by 2 will be 13. Right? So she gave 13 incorrect answers. Right? So this is the way you will solve this type of sums. And you can also check, once you get the answer, you can cross-check whether your answer is correct or not. Like here in this case, Radhika's case, 12 correct answers she gave. So 12 threes are 36. And incorrect we got 8. So 8 twos are 16. That is minus 16. So 36 minus 16 will give you 20 as the total score. So that means our answer is correct. Let us see Mohini's case. She gave 7 correct answers. So 7 threes are 21. That we did. Now she got 13 incorrect answer. 13 will multiply by minus 2. Right? So 13 into minus 2 gives you minus 26. So minus 26 plus 21 gives you minus 5. Right? That means both the answers are correct. So in exams also you can cross-check whether your answers are correct or not. Right? So I hope I have covered all the questions, all the queries. I have taken all the difficult questions from the textbook and tried to cover all the concepts. Right? So Thank you.